Hello and welcome back to Captain of Industry. So we got a few things sorted last time. We got steel production up and running. We have a full storage unit of steel now, which is wonderful. We tidied up a few other little bits and bobs. We changed the rotation on our crops to maximize the food output we're getting. Not that we're using all of the food at the moment. We've got so much we are overflowing, but that's fine. That's not a bad place to be, is it? We have the ship here, which is waiting to be repaired. That's fine. It needs a few little bits to do that. So what are we looking at today? Well, the first thing we're looking at is a diesel problem, a significant diesel problem. So we have our original diesel setup down here, which I think I'm going to re-enable because we're in trouble and we need that extra diesel. So I'm going to tell this that this can now, oh, not that one, that this can export cargo from this. So trucks will now be able to come over here to get some diesel, and this will now be making diesel once again from these three here. It's not the most ideal situation. I'd like to have retained a little bit of those reserves, but needs must. Needs must. This one shouldn't be running because we don't have any power going, but yeah, we do need to get some extra diesel on the go. The other thing we could look at doing is we could look at upgrading this, which would be very useful, but we need Mark II parts for that. And we do have another diesel source, or an oil source, I should say, up here. So although I was initially against using all the oil sources we have nearby, and where is the next one? I'm not sure. There's one over here, which is obviously miles away. And I'm going to guess any others are going to also be very far away. Well, there's a couple over here, yes. And I don't think there's one on this island here. Yeah, so this is essentially all the oil we have available to us. There is a little bit over there we just flew over. But where are we going to be? We're probably going to want to come here to get over to that one. We might even want to start thinking about how we're going to get over to this island, actually. But maybe we'll do that once we've built this ramp. Maybe that'll be the next thing we do. Although I do also want to sort of flatten off this bit of beach as well. But anyway, so I was a little against using all the oil we have available. On the other hand, we are in trouble. So let's use the oil we have available to us. So how far down can we put this one? We can put it there. So if I put you there, and then we need another one to make 60. So if we put you there. And then we'll bring you down here. We'll try to avoid going over any of the hill sections. And where do we need to go? We need to go to like here. And then, actually, I'm going to bring it down a little bit more. Just because I think one of the things we might look at doing today, I'll put a little bit of a zigzag in there, that's fine, is maybe rebuilding. Oh, that last little bit went awry. That's fine. That's fine. So that's going to come in here. Do we want a balancer there, however? We probably do, don't we? Because we want this, any oil that comes in from the ship, we want to be used first. So actually, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. And unity that, please and thank you. And then let's get the pipe balancer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pop that in there. Unity that, and we want this to be the priority input. Excellent. And then let's... How much of that can we unity? Oh, we cannot unity oil pumps either. Because some YouTubers abuse this system. Okay, well, I want this to be like... Not that. this. I want this to be priority 1. I want this to be priority 2. I want this to be priority 3. Okay, let's get that going. And I don't suppose I can unity the pipe. What does the pipe take? That only takes Mark 1. So I think we've already unitied the pipe. Yeah, it's just doing that now. Okay. So we have the rubber maker there, but that's paused. That's fine. We probably have quite a bit of rubber in stock. We do. This ship has just come... No, it hasn't come back, has it? Let's get rid of this a second so I can see what's going on here. Oh, available to pick up. So it's just waiting for fuel. So I think what we want to do here is we want to put... Yep, no, that's the wrong way around. That's my bad. I was wondering why it didn't look like it's connecting. Put that there. We're going to say that's... In fact, what I would rather do is have this just connected. So this connects to this at the moment, but that's not even built. That's fine. Let's get that built. Then it goes over there. I wouldn't mind. Give that a bit of space in case that wants to. I wouldn't mind direct connecting this. I think it's very important to have this fueled. So let's do that, and let's say trucks cannot import cargo anymore. Because as soon as we get some oil up here, this will be doing that now. Okay, so we're waiting for these to be built to get that oil in. In the meantime, we do have diesel being produced here now, which is why we have these little trucks here. So that's something. We have plenty of people coming to get stuff from there. So I think that's all we can really do in the short term to try and... I'm not going to send this out. I should probably put a diesel storage connected to this, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not going to send that out at the moment because I don't want to use the diesel on it. In fact, is there a way... I'm going to make this a very low priority. Oh, Malachi's ran out of fuel. Well, problems. We do have a little bit of fuel in stock, of course. I might... How much does it cost to make another fuel station? Right, it does take Mark 2s, so I'm not going to do that because I'd rather they put any fuel 2s, Mark 2 construction parts into doing those over there. I'm going to turn import back on for that because actually we do want import on for that because we do want that to have diesel in. Okay. Okay. Now that can only get 1,000. Yes. I'm just sort of waiting for these parts. Let's just speed everything up a little. Do we still have... Where's the Mark 1s? I do. I'm going to get rid of that for the moment. I would rather be making the Mark 2 parts of them right now. So let's take off that restriction. Let's just get these built as quick as we humanely can. And then the ship was in battle at some point. We won. Hurrah! We explored a location. We found corn seeds. Not quite what I was after, but still not bad. I'm going to leave... Can we make these boxes smaller? No, I'm going to leave it... I'm going to leave it there, though, for the moment, to keep an eye on that. Corn. We were talking about corn. So corn comes in there. So we found corn seeds. We haven't found wheat seeds. That's very annoying. Oh, that is very annoying. How are we doing? Diesel is going down, but I would sort of expect that. These are in place. We have 56 parts. We've now got all of these up and running. Excellent. So this pipe is now taking 20 times 3, it is taking 60 oil. It is bringing it over here. It is popping it into this, even though this is a priority because there is nothing else here. So it has just started feeding that into here. This is now going to start, and this uses 60, doesn't it? Yes. This is now going to start working, and it's going to start producing diesel for us. Initially, that diesel is going to go straight over here, and it's going to just go straight into this, and it's going to fill this up. But that's not a bad thing, because once that has been filled up, then it will go off and it will get 1,000 diesel for us. We need to get this upgraded pretty quickly, which costs 80 construction parts too, but we do need that, because then we can when this goes off and gets oil, will be bringing back 1,000. And we will probably also very soon want to think about upgrading this so it produces more, because right now it's producing 60 per tick per minute, I think it is, which is great, but this uses 60 per minute, and we want to double this up when we get our sour water stripper. Remember, these things over here, these were reminders. This one was not a reminder, that was just so we could get access to the compost stuff. These were reminders of things we want to build. So we have the seawater pump. I don't know if I need the seawater pump yet. We seem to be doing okay with looking at using a couple of these resources over here. We have Mark III construction parts, which is going to be very important, and I think we might want to do a little bit of a rejigging, a rebuilding of our situation over here. And we have a mixer to make acid from sulfur, and the sulfur comes from the sour water stripper, which takes 36 sour. Oh, that actually went and got some, and it is using both of these now, which is important because it wasn't before. One thing I did see somebody do was put storage just directly connected to the fluid modules. I guess so they empty quicker, because then you have two direct connections rather than having storage over here. So I might, once we expand this, I might look to do that, and then we can get rid of these oil stores. So we now have oil coming in over here, going into this balancer, going straight through to here. We are making more diesel. Diesel is sort of ticking up, so that's fine. So one thing I was thinking when I was looking at this earlier, before I started recording, I was like, what am I going to do about this situation with the diesel? But I think we sorted the diesel situation out. These will slowly start filling up. This is complaining about not having any diesel. Why are you complaining about not having any diesel? Ah, because that is not built under that pillar there. Okay, that's fine. We still have lots of rubber, so we don't really care about rubber too much. That's now going to start filling up that. That's absolutely fine. We have 92 construction parts. I'm going to upgrade this. And I'm going to Unity it. Can I Unity it? No, because I suddenly don't have enough construction parts. Or that's gone off so I can get construction parts. So this be built, I think. Yeah, we just got all the trucks bringing all the stuff in manually. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. The other thing we wanted to do was look at moving our research over here rather than having these separate stores that trucks have to bring stuff back and forth to. That's just a wee bit of a waste, isn't it? Oh, housing wise, we have got 0 houses. So we also need to, not that, we need to unpause one of those. We also need to think about moving our farms up so we can get a second grid of 9 housing in here, moving all of our farms up here. For a quick look at our tree harvesting, I'm going to take those off for the moment because I want them to be focusing on those, which I suspect they are, but just in case. So we've got a bunch of things without fuel. What I might do in the short term is just give this like 4. Give that 4 fuel trucks, just get all the things which have ran out of fuel, more fuel, which is 7 excavators, 2 tree harvesters. We are actually running out of power. I started talking about this just now, didn't I? We are actually running out of power. And that's because that's got no coal. That's got no coal, so that isn't running, so we're not making any power. This is super important. Super, super important. Someone tell me you are bringing coal over here. In fact, it might not be bringing any coal, because it might be basically out of coal. Yeah, because all of our excavators are, are out. Okay, well, this looks like it's going to come and sort this out. In the meantime, maintenance is running low, probably because they are out. Yes, that is correct. Let's just have 7 fuel trucks for the moment. So all of the coal is back up and running. That's good. You are annoyingly taking it there rather than straight out. It does have reject. Oh, it doesn't have reject single load products on. Ooh, you fool. Let's just make sure that one's got it. That one does have it. Okay. So the reject single load products just means if a truck only has one thing in it, if it only has coal, if it only has copper, or whatever it happens to be, it will not take it here. It will take that elsewhere. Which is good, because at the moment this doesn't have enough power to run. What can we do? I'm going to put the priority of the research right down, which should mean that, because the priority takes care of power as well, so they should only be running when they are needed. I'm going to do the same for this. And I'm going to pause and unpause just to try and make that take effect, but it doesn't seem to be, so I'm just going to pause all those anyway. Which probably means this one single, where is it? This one single generator over here is currently running flat out, trying to get enough power to do stuff with. Ooh, dear. Okay, we've had people bring coal in over here, so this is going to be back up and running very soon. We're just going to wait for this to spin up. The inertia has accumulated. These are all spinning, or 2 of them are spinning so far. We should see the other 2 going quite soon. Whenever you like, but that should have solved the power problem. This one should now be off again. Yes, okay. So this is now down to 6,000. This has not been upgraded yet. What are you waiting for? Slabs. Why can I not Unity slabs? Do I not have enough slabs? I don't. Okay, that's fine. I understand now. What is the problem with slabs? Is there something holding us up here? Doesn't seem to be. All the belts are full. They're all backed up. Plenty of sand, plenty of concrete, plenty of the other bit, crushed slag. They're just not able to make it fast enough at the moment. Fair enough. Should be pretty close though, I'd imagine. No, it's still on that. Okay. Anyway. So this is the other thing I was thinking. Talking about power as we have been. The other thing I was thinking is, it's great we've got all this set up and it's relatively self-contained. However, we are burning off lots and lots of heavy and light oil. We're just burning it off because we've got full tanks here. This produces 48 steam from our heavy or light oil, whatever it's using. But we're only using 6 there, and we're only using 9 steam currently. So we have all of this steam available. We're only using 9 of it, and because this is only burning what's 9 out of 48? It's like 5 and a bit, right? So only like a fifth of the time this needs to actually be active to generate more steam. And in that time, any extra light or heavy ore that's produced is just wasted. Which just seems crazy, doesn't it? So I think we need to think about 1, expanding this. And I might need to think about deleting a few of these bits to make room for another set of these, because I think that'll probably go next to it. Expanding this and also adding in another boiler, because once we are making I don't think the 24 heavy oil, it uses 36, but it'd be making 60 light oil, and this uses 54. So it'd be making slightly more light oil than it'd need to run one of these permanently. So adding in another gas boiler, and then the excess steam that we're not using, at that point bear in mind we'll be using 18, but the excess steam we're not using, let's throw that into power, right? We've got no reason not to throw that into power. Let's knock this down to 1 again, we only need 1 there. This has just finished, which is awesome. These are also potentially upgradable, but we don't currently have capacity to do that. Let's unpause those straight away. I'm guessing they use construction parts Mark II. We'll be able to Unity one of them. Actually, we're able to Unity the other one. Excellent. And then let's do what I was talking about here. Let's put storage there, storage there. Let's delete that. Delete that. And here is our bigger ship that can now bring back 2,000 fuel a time, or 2,000 oil a time, I should say. Let's Unity that, Unity that. Get rid of that. Oh, not get rid of that, sorry. Let's do that. And then really, we just want all of these daisy chained together, bringing oil over here into this. So what I might do is I might just, if we delete that, we can let that empty into the balancer. And if we bring that over here, if we just Unity the removal of those. Oh, I thought that would be able to go. It's because it's avoiding that, isn't it? Which I don't really care about. Okay, do you know what? We'll just do that. That's fine. So it's all going to be a little bit higgledy-piggledy, but whatever. And at some point we'll upgrade that to a Mark II pipe run as well, so it actually is able to fit in properly. And then this, we're just going to bring in back up to height 5 again. That's a bit of a silly shape, but whatever. And then can we Unity that? And all of that. We can. Awesome. Nice. So now we want to make this one a priority. We've got the upgraded cargo dock. That is all fantastic. So we want to look at this now, and I don't know if I'm going to need to delete this to get this up and running. What I want to do in the meantime as well is come over here and pause this, and let's stop trucks from being able to export from there. That just becomes like an emergency diesel store. Okay, so I want to redo all of this. How are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? Because doing this is going to cause us to basically lose diesel production. So what we might need to do is wait for this to tick up a bit. And whilst waiting for that to tick up, let's just think about how this is going to look. So we're going to still have the same sort of storage. We're going to have coal. And I'm also going to add in a 4th for fuel gas, because we might be getting that soon. So we're going to have coal, and we want that to be a little bit full. We're going to have light oil, and we don't want trucks importing cargo for that. We're going to have heavy oil, and we don't want trucks importing that. And we're probably going to have some fuel gas at some point. I'm just going to put that there so we know it's coming. We are then going to have these here. So let's give this a little bit more space. Let's space this out. Just not a lot more, but right now there's 2, And this way we've just given ourselves a fraction more room to work with. So let's get ourselves a loose belt. That is going to plug into there. So that is going to be our coal boiler. That is going to be our backup boiler. We then want another gas boiler here. These are all going to go into a pipe balancer, which we're going to put here. These could possibly actually share. Do we want them sharing? I'm going to give it its own dedicated one for the moment, and they're both going to be priority inputs. Okay. So this one is going to just do light oil, because we should be getting 60 light oil a second. There is also a little bit of extra light oil that we're going to put into here. And then we're going to connect heavy oil to there as well. Fuel gas is a separate concern. We'll probably give that its own boiler at some point. Let's think about the output, because this is 72, this is 60, and that is also 72. We'll probably have at least 2 of those running at a time if we're adding power into this situation. So it's just in terms of, yeah, we might as well just use the big one. But is the big one in the right place, I guess, is the question. I suppose that's fine. I suppose that's fine. If we don't need to add another one in, then it'll just, yeah, it'll just go over there even more. In fact, let's just add this other one in now whilst we're thinking about this. So we need to give it, I suppose we could do that and just make it a 200 pipe. So if we do that, and just put a pipe connector in there, and then we want pipe Mark II to go from there. Let's go this way. Hello, hello. To go from there to there. Okay, that's fine. And then this one is going to be fuel gas only. Ah, that's a good point. That does carbon dioxide. This is going to do heavy and light. So this does exhaust, that does carbon dioxide. So actually that isn't going to work. That isn't going to work. So let's flip and rotate that one. So it is now that way. This can plug in over here. Try that again. This can plug in over here. Nope, we do not want that to be a Mark II. Let's make that a Mark I. This one can, oh no, it can't be a Mark I because a Mark I only does 60. Oh, that's a good point, me. Right now, how is this connected? Is it just direct connected in? It must be. Should I just do that again? Should I just put another big smokestack in? It doesn't take much of anything, does it? Actually, do you know what? I'm going to do that. It's a bit silly, but I kind of like it. So let's just pop in another big smokestack. Is that in the right line? Yeah, I kind of like the way it looks. Okay. Except you are supposed to be that way around. And then you would be connected to there. Excellent. We would then need water, which is coming from the left. So if we take this and we go here and we go up to level 5, we just bring this right across here like that. And then this connects into this. This connects into this. This connects into this. So now we have water. Excellent. So that would replace all of this section. And we shouldn't need the burners anymore. Shouldn't. Is it worth putting the burners on still? I don't know. We are going to run out of space a little bit over here. So let's just bring this over here now. So that's how that's going to look. Then we're going to need... Okay, it's going to be a bit of a pain. We're going to need this. So this is going to go... Let's give it a tiny little bit more space. This is going to go here. And then we're going to bring steam in over there. And we're going to bring steam in over there. Excellent. The sour water is going to go somewhere else. The diesel is going to come from that balancer there. And then we have diesel, which we are going to bring... Oh, I'll say this. We're not going to do that yet. We're going to leave that a second. We have light oil, which we're going to bring out over here. I'd like it to go... Okay, we're going to bring that out over here. It's going to tip underneath that. Thank you. And then this is going to come over here and pop into there. We also have heavy oil, which I suppose actually I could bring down to level 4 and bring that underneath if I turn off magnetin. I'd like it just to go underneath. Right, turn on magnetin, join into there. There we go. Right, so we've got the heavy and the light oil coming over. What we need then... Might need to redo this bit of pipe actually, because we are going to want to take these two. We're going to want to do this. Nope. Do this. Which isn't going to necessarily work. All the pipes are going to have to be Mark IIs pretty much now. Because what is this one outputting? No longer wants to tell me, but it's not the medium. Oh, so this is heavy. So in fact, the heavy pipe can be... Yeah, so I'm going to have to take out this bit of pipe. The heavy pipe can be a Mark I. That's fine. This is the light oil. However, that kicks out... Oh, in fact, only kicks out 30 light oil. So actually, no, a Mark I pipe is fine for that as well. Diesel, however, it kicks out 36, so it's slightly more than a Mark I pipe. So we are going to need a Mark II pipe to come from there. It's going to come over here. And we are going to get some storage, and we're going to put that into a storage tank. Excellent. We then have 2 lots of sour water to deal with. I've made those all Mark IIs, which is unnecessary because it's only a little... Let's get rid of all that. Let's bring those back to a Mark I. So we're going to have sour water, which is going to come through the middle of there. Join that up to there. So that's our sour water, which needs to go into a sour water thingy-majiggy. And then we also have extra steam. So we're going to come... Oh, hold on. We also have the oil as well to come in, don't we? And they're going to need 60 oil each. And the balancer is high. So in fact, let's just do 1 and then bring it up. And then let's just copy that, stick that there. Okie dokie. And then we have steam. Why can't it? Oh, I can't because there's a thing there. That's fine because we can take that one, bring that over there. Bring that over there. So it's all going to look like that. And then we have these bits, which are going to go there. Okay. So, can I get away with not destroying anything? So I've still got some diesel in the pipe, not by the look of it, so let's get rid of that as well. I don't think we can, well maybe, I think this is the only bit really which is exactly the same. The rest of it has been quite heavily messed around with. So what I think we're going to have to do is this is quite important. Oh, then the other thing, of course, was the power side of it. We haven't even looked at the power side of it, have we? So if we just take all of this and bring this down a little bit further again, where we've got some more space. There we go. Because we're going to have this. Oh, would the power go like here? So if we're sort of expanding it this way, I think that makes the most sense. So we would have an extra connector come off of there. We would have a high pressure turbine, which I think would go this way this time. And that takes 24 steam. So I think we would have 2 of those. And then we would have the usual 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, and 1, 2. I normally only have 2, but I think I do need to start doing more of those. I think we would have 4 of those. And then these would be, I can't set the power production. Oh no, it's done on the things, isn't it? So at the moment, these are power production 6. So we would want these to be higher. So these we would want to be like 2. That was that one I did, wasn't it? There we go. Need to start using that a bit more. So now these are all going to be level 2. So they're all going to be even more important. How are you out of fuel? And our thing over this makes the fuel right here. This makes the fuel. I don't know how you're out of fuel. So we're looking pretty good here. This is all filled. This is the priority input, which means these should not be running at the moment, which is excellent because that's going to help keep our reserves up. This is all going to start to change when we do this, however, because this is going to use twice as much oil as before, which is why I wanted to upgrade. That's what I was going for. That's why I wanted to upgrade this. In the meantime, I'm assuming this ship is now full of diesel. Yeah, so let's think about going and finding us some bloody wheat. We've done everything that's like 2 away, haven't we? 1, 2. So those are all 3. Oh, that's a 2, I suppose, technically. Okay, let's do that one. Oh, I haven't done the sour water stripper. So we're not done with this yet. So we have sour water, which is somewhere. I feel like one of the pipes didn't get made. That was definitely connected to that before, but now it wants to go like that. That's a bit weird, but it's fine. That is the sour water output. Okay. So that's going to come out of here. Sour water needs sour water and a little bit of steam. We can do that. And then it's going to make us some sulfur, some ammonia, and some water. Okay, so where's the best place to put this? The water is over here for us to plug back into. So what if we put this... We could squeeze it in there. That seems silly. So what I'm thinking is we're going to put this... If we flip this... I might even put it like... No, I don't want it to be in the way of those. I want it to sort of be parallel with these. So... So we're going to bring this to here and connect into there. We then need a little bit of steam, which currently goes... Is this steam? Yes, it is. So we're going to take a feed off of there and bring that into there. We are then going to get some water, which is going to be there. Like that. So that's going to feed... Oh, in fact, we want a balancer there. I think we do, don't we? Because we're going to want to have to say... Could not find valid pillars. Oh, why have you gone up that high? I don't understand. Just do that, thank you. Because we're going to have water coming in from this direction. We need to... I can't flip it. It's fine. But this is going to be the priority input. So water coming from here is going to be the priority. That's going to get fed back into the system, and it's going to save us a little bit of water. What do we do with ammonia? I'm assuming it goes out of a smokestack or something. Goes into a flare? It goes into a flare. That's fine. That's just going to be directly connected to a flare for now, so we have nothing else to do with it. It's only 9. That's not the end of the world. Well, it's not great in terms of pollution, but it could be worse. And then we are going to want a storage box of loose storage, which we're going to put here. And that is going to be... I just immediately hit pause as soon as I heard a noise because I didn't know what was going on. That's going to be sulfur. That is going to be what this looks like. It is quite a hefty improvement on this. Right, let's have a look. Shipping battle. It should absolutely smash it. You go and do that. Small excavator still has no fuel. I might need to pop in another fuel truck. I don't think 2's keeping up, so let's pop another fuel truck in. So we've got a couple of things running out of fuel and it's struggling to keep up a little bit. Whilst we do this, we've discovered another damaged cargo. That's 2 damaged cargo ships right next to each other. It's not going to have the fuel to go and explore anything else, I suspect, so it's just going to head back. That's fine. 2 more damaged cargo ships. That's crazy. I think that's 300 iron. Yeah, because we're already making it. So I think that's 300 iron. And that... Oh no, that's steel, isn't it? Steel and copper, and that one is just iron. So that's the next one we're going to use anyway, because that's a nice cheap fix for us. Yes. I don't like doing it, but I'm going to do it again. Where's my scum save? Because this is just, we've only just got out of a fairly horrible diesel situation, and we're about to go and make it all worse again. I don't think have I finished with the sour water stripper? Yeah, no, I have. Okay, that's fine. Obviously, we then need to make sure we're actually doing something with the sulfur, otherwise that's just going to fill up again. But that's a tomorrow problem. So we've got a fair bit of Unity. We've got, how much is all this going to cost? A lot of construction parts Mark II. How much is this bit going to cost? A lot of construction parts Mark II, and also construction parts Mark III. Is that the sour water stripper that costs? It is. Okay. That's not ideal. That's not ideal. Okay. I really wanted this sorted. I wanted that power to be coming from over here. I wanted this expanded setup. But to do that, we're going to have to get rid of this, and it's going to cost us so much. 455 Mark II parts. So maybe if we leave that there as our plan for this, and that's just something else that'll happen at a later date. In the meantime, let's think about what we're going to do over here to sort out our construction part sort of situation. So construction parts, wrong box, take iron, wood, and concrete slabs. They take 9 iron. These output 12, which is an annoying ratio, isn't it? I wanted to try and get some of these sort of dedicated to doing this, but so that's 24, that's 48. None of that divides into 9. Okay. But I think what we need to do is do this differently. Somewhere, somehow. Oh, is our wood storage full? So what are we going to do here? What are we going to do here? I think we are going to probably remove this. Move electronics over this side. And then we can expand this in this way. I think that's what we're going to do. Because electronics takes rubber and copper. Which is why it was over this side, because it was closer to the copper there. But oh my word, that's already almost filled up, has it? No, it's just because this has taken its time to get there. But have we still got stuff without fuel? Where are my fuel trucks? Okay, this one actually looks like it's finally coming over to this one. Yes. So now there is one pickup without fuel, which is in fact the one closest to the fuel station, which is insane. Okay, whatever. Whatever, you do you. You do you. So what are we going to do? Let's just get rid of this for now. So what I was thinking was I'd delete a couple of these. Maybe instead... It's annoying that this uses these two and I kind of split those. I think that's what we're going to do. I think we are going to build a whole bunch of those. And then we're going to look at deleting a few of these. And then we are going to take this and move this over here. As soon as they've gone. Any minute now. It's a collision with a pillar, but we can get rid of that by saying Okay, so let's copy that. Pop that here. So then, oh, that uses electronics. Oh, okay. Okay. So let's not do that. Instead, let's maybe move this. Get rid of one of these, build another one there. That can output to there. They only output 12, so that's fine to go onto that belt. That gives us room to add another Mark 3 over, Mark 1 over here at least. Might have to move this belt here, but that's fine. Let's do that. Can we unity all of that? Yes, and then let's delete this. And we're going to have to delete that as well. And then we're going to move this here. We're going to have to do something different with this belt, but that's only doing vehicle parts. I'm not too fussed about fixing that in a minute. That's fine. If we can just unity that out of the way, thank you very much. So now we're going to be making 36. Plus this can be upgraded at some point soon as well. Let's just unity that, get that done. Well, I say that. Let's also think about where is that? Come on, do it. You had it then. There's also that. Okay, that's fine. So they all go into there, that goes into there. I think we need another one of these at the very least, if not another 2. We can't do a lot about that belt on that side for the moment, so let's pop that there, let's pop that into there, let's unity build that. Let's connect that to there. And then that to there. In fact, no, let's not do that. Well, that's horrible. But I might do that just because I want a dedicated belt going to maintenance. So let's unity that, unity that. So now we're making 12 Mark II parts. At some point soon. Oh, unity that. There we go. Trucks can't get to that, that's fine. Trucks cannot export cargo from... Although that is a problem. that is a problem. Because how are trucks going to get there to... Oh... I think we're going to have a full rebuild of this at some point. But let's, for now, just get some Mark III things in stock. Let's just get those going. Oh, we can, yeah, of course we can build them in the Mark II. That's what we want to do, isn't it? I think we're only going to want one of these. This is going to take 6 construction parts. We're only making 6. So we're only going to want one of these for the moment. So that's going to go there. Steel is there. I'm just going to belt this in for now. Stainless steel is Mark III parts. Let's get some storage, unit storage. That's going to go into there. And can we unity all of that? Let's start making us some Mark III parts. And then we're really going to have to think about, like, where are you trying to get to? Oh, you've got stuck in there because I did something silly. I see. Let's Unity that. And give them somewhere they can actually get under. There we go. Okie dokie. Tree harvester has no trees to harvest. It's just a wonderful thing to see. Let's get you going back on all of that. That is absolutely fine and dandy. We only actually need this to generate 40 for us to start with, and then we can stop that. Because that'll be enough for us to build this. Then we just need to concentrate on getting the Mark II parts, which were quite extensive. 414, more than we can put into storage, in fact. Unless we upgrade the storage. Let's upgrade the storage so it can hold more. So we can Unity more. Let's do that. That's our first Mark II storage. So, it's about time to start thinking about finishing up. It might not seem like we've achieved a lot today. Because all we've really done is planned this out and done this. But we're going to undo... We've already talked about the fact we're going to have to undo all of this and make this better. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but it has to be better. Pickup has no fuel. Still... Or because you're assigned to the fuel station. Maybe you're not getting fuel because you're assigned to the fuel station. I think that's what that got confused with. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, our ship's back. It still has not found corn. Let's send our ship out over there. Our wood is probably getting quite close to filling up. Let's just Unity all of those at this point. And then we'll think about maybe like swinging that back on itself and doing another lot up here. The last thing I think I'm going to do before we finish up is I'm going to make a new mining tower. This is going to be just to flatten everything, essentially. So I'm going to tuck this out of the way, I think. Where would be a good place for this? Because I don't really want it... So we don't have a lot of space up here. I'll be doing stuff here. I don't really know where to put it. I'm going to put it here. We're going to give this, we don't have any, but we are going to give that a couple of diggers. And a few trucks. And this, ships in battle, that's fine. This is going to do like... all of this. All of that, pretty much. And then we're going to say mining designation level 4. We're just going to go from here for the moment. We don't want to go over where the trees are necessarily, but we want you to get rid. We have to be a little bit careful here because we don't want it to actually start taking out mountains. Yeah, just get rid of all of that. And then more over here as well. I mean, that's plenty to keep it busy to start, isn't it? Yeah, just like all of that. You're just gonna flatten everything. Literally everything. It's next unity the next one as well. Then you can have one, you can have 4 trucks. And that is also going to give us a lot more stuff for us to dump. And they are very nearly finished with this ramp. Look, that is looking amazing. We are going to need somewhere for them to continue dumping after that. I might straighten this out, just because we're going to probably want to have a lot more things like this up here. I might even just go like straight across. Maybe not from there, but just from there. The other thing we want to do at some point is start thinking about like building a beachhead across here. Maybe even flattening the rest of that out as well. Yes. What have we got here? Ship was in battle, location was explored. We found a radar system, which is great. What it isn't, however, is wheat. All I care about is wheat. Why will you not give me wheat? Yes. Anyway, so that other one should be built. Excellent. And it's down building some extra trucks, but they'll just go off and do whatever trucks do. Sweet. So we have our first flattening crew going. That's amazing. So we've done that. We are going to have to do something over here. And we have planned out this. We are just waiting for a lot more parts to be in stock. We need 40 Mark IIIs. We have them. I'm going to pause that so it just puts more Mark IIs in stock. Once that is filled, next time we will look at deleting like all of that. Deleting all of that. And then putting all of this in its place and building all of this to start with. The power is the secondary concern. It's going to be a lot more Mark II parts to do all that. That's the secondary concern. But just to get the extra oil processing up and running first of all is where we're going to start with. And then we can get the power up and running, and then we can replace this with this setup, and we can make this a secondary emergency power station. We seem to have a lot of secondary emergency power stations going on, but that's what we're going to have. We've got this one expanded, which is awesome. We do need to think about upgrading this. What does that cost to upgrade? 200 Mark II parts. So we're going to do this first. Or should we do that first? I don't really know. And maybe we'll start planning out, like one of the first things we'll do next, and we'll start planning out exactly what we're going to do over here. Yeah, it's a pain, isn't it? I might just have to delete everything and just start it from scratch and think about really exactly what we're going to do. So mechanical parts are only used for this. We need like mechanical parts over here, we need electronics, and then we need the bits here. But saying that, I think, if I remember correctly, it might be a assembler 3. Yeah, we can start using steel to make construction parts. So it uses fewer slabs and steel. And we can start using steel to make mechanical parts as well. So we might want to think about making these two into a secondary steel thing. Because, yeah, 24 to 24 for the molten iron, 24 to 12 to the steel. So you get half the steel that you do as the iron, and that only uses 1/3 less. So why would that be a better recipe? That's better, because you only use 12 compared to 30. So you're using less than half, so that's better. But why would this be better? Using 12. That one I don't get so much. I suppose it uses less wood and less concrete slabs as well. Yeah. But the mechanical parts we can do with steel when we get the Mark III assemblers going. So mechanical parts, electronics, and then construction parts? I don't know. We'll have a think on it. We'll have a think on it. But right now, everything is looking a bit more hunky-dory. You don't have anywhere to dump products. Why not? Because this glorious little thing is full. That is going to be something we're going to deal with next time. But that is amazing. So we can now get up here, which gives us access to gold, more water. Probably not over here. Maybe we need to start thinking about building a ramp over this bit then as well. Or, now we're up here. If we wanted to get to this island, where would we do that? Across here? I'm trying to look for where's the least dark blue water. So that signifies deep water. And also somewhere that might not be horrible to... You've got to think about the fact that when you do dump in, obviously it comes in on this sort of grid. Can't do diagonals. So do we come from here? That looks quite nice. But then we'd have to come like that. Or do we just bring this over here and up here? So if we want to ramp from like here. It's quite significant, isn't it? What do you mean invalid position? What do you mean invalid position? That's quite a lot of stuff to dump there, isn't it? And then to go across there. Is that better or worse than coming like off here? I don't know. That's something to think about another time. We do need to delete all of that before they start doing silly things though. So let's get rid of all that. 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 Excellent. So, cool. Got stuff done today. Got stuff planned. We're in a good position. I think things are looking very good here with how wonderfully clear this is. That just makes me so happy. So happy. We've got so much room for activities. So we'll look at getting this built next time, redoing this little area over here maybe. And yeah, upgrading the oil rig is the other big thing we need to do. We already have 327 construction parts. We would have had more, but I've paused it so we don't, so everything doesn't back up because it's got nowhere to dump stuff. Excellent. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, all those good things. I will see you next time in Captain of Industry. And as always, thank you very much for joining me.